Welcome to the deep dive. We're here today to explore some really practical ideas about how to get better at listening in English.
Yeah, it's something a lot of learners struggle with, isn't it? Many people feel kind of stuck with their listening.
Right.
You might be trying really hard, maybe for a long time even, and it still feels, well, difficult to understand native speakers sometimes. It can be pretty frustrating.
Oh, totally. We get that. It makes you wonder, like, am I doing this the right way? Or why isn't it clicking?
Exactly.
So our mission for this deep dive is to look closely at some ways that could actually make a difference in your listening skills, especially if you feel like you've hit a plateau right now.
Because listening, it's just so important for learning English well. I mean, it helps you understand faster, speak more naturally. It's foundational.
For sure. But the big question is, how do we practice listening the smart way so you actually see, progress?
Right. What really...
Okay, so let's start with something that comes up a lot, subtitles. Some people worry that using them actually holds you back when you're trying to improve listening.
Yeah, that's a common concern. Like, if you're reading, are you really listening properly?
Mm-hmm.
But, Riley shared that for them, subtitles were actually a huge help starting out. They found that seeing the word spelled out while hearing it, well, it made a big difference.
Yeah, it connects the sound to the letters, right? Riley even said subtitles were a lifesaver for them as a beginner.
A lifesaver, yeah.
Yeah.
Without them, they felt like they'd just missed too much.
And I think that's a really key point. If you're a beginner, or even if you're, further along but still find listening quite challenging, using subtitles is okay. You really shouldn't feel bad about it.
Not at all. It's not like you have to ditch them completely overnight.
Yeah.
You can be smart about it.
How so?
Well, maybe you watch something first with the subtitles on just to get the main story and understand what's going on. Then maybe you rewatch a small section, like a few minutes, but this time with them off.
Ah, okay. Break it down.
Yeah. Or you could start with simpler content, maybe videos designed for learners, use subtitles there, and then try turning them off for that same content or slightly harder stuff.
So it's about easing into it.
Exactly. The main thing is don't put loads of pressure on yourself. If subtitles help you enjoy listening practice and help you learn vocabulary, great, use them.
Right.
When you feel a bit more confident, maybe then you challenge yourself sometimes without them. But it's definitely not a race. Think of them as a stepping stone.
That makes sense. Use them as a tool, not a crutch forever, maybe.
Precisely. Okay, another really key idea, especially when listening feels fast or overwhelming, is active listening.
Active listening. What exactly does that mean in this context?
Well, it means really focusing on the main idea, the overall message the speaker is trying to get across.
Okay.
Doesn't mean you have to catch or understand every single word they say.
Ugh. See, I think this is where a lot of people get stuck. They try so hard to grasp every word
Yeah.
that they end up missing the bigger picture, the main point. They get lost in the details.
Absolutely. It's much more effective to ask yourself, okay, what's their main point here? What are they trying to tell me?
Focus on the message.
Exactly. And this is even more important if someone is speaking quickly. Instead of panicking about the speed, try to tune into the key words.
Keywords.
Yeah, the important words they emphasize, the stress patterns, even the tone of their voice can give you clues. Think about a simple request like, can you please grab me the blue folder from the desk over there?
Okay. Lots of words there.
Right, but what are the essential words you need to understand to do the task?
Probably blue folder and desk.
Bingo. Blue folder, desk. Those tell you what you need and where it is. The rest, can you please grab me from the battle? They add politeness and detail, but you get the core instruction from just those key bits.
Got it. So focus on the core nouns and maybe verbs.
Often, yeah. And if you're listening to someone face to face and you're still unsure, well, just ask.
Right. It's okay to say, sorry, could you repeat that? Or could you say that a bit slower?
Absolutely. And if it's audio or video, you've got that magic button, the playback speed control.
Oh, yeah, slowing it down.
Those players have it now. You can slow it down to 0.75x or even 0.5x speed. It helps so much, especially when you're starting out or listening to something tricky.
Yeah, just taking that pressure off, the need to catch every single word. It really makes listening less stressful and probably more effective in the long run.
Definitely more effective.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Another thing we see is people tend to stick to just one type of English material.
What do you mean, like only watching Hollywood movies?
Yeah, or maybe only listening to news podcasts or only watching their favorite YouTuber.
Right. And while practicing is always good, that might not be enough.
Well, it limits your exposure. English isn't just one thing, is it? There are loads of different styles of speaking, different vocabulary used in different situations, and of course, different accents.
Ah, good point.
Think about a news anchor. They usually speak very clearly, quite formally, right?
Mm-hmm. Standard pronunciation.
Then think about characters in a sitcom. They were using everyday chat, maybe slang, interruptions, talking faster.
Much more casual.
Yeah, totally different feel.
And a YouTuber might be different again, maybe very informal, using lots of idioms specific to their community or topic if you only listen to one of these.
You might really struggle when you hear the others.
Exactly. You need that variety.
So it's not about ditching movies if you love them, but maybe adding something else in.
Yeah, mix it up. If you only watch dramas, maybe try a comedy or a documentary. If you only listen to formal podcasts, try finding one that's more conversational, like this.
Good plug. And accents. That's a huge one too, isn't it? Oh, massive. Alex mentioned finding it really hard to understand British accents at first because they'd mostly listen to American English.
Yeah, I can see that. Or even within the US or UK, there are so many regional accents.
Tons. So if you only ever hear, say, standard American, then hearing someone with a Scottish accent or an Australian one or a Texan one, it can feel like a different language almost.
Okay, so deliberately seeking out different accents is important.
It really helps. British, Australian, Irish, various American ones, Canadian. The more exposure you get, the more your ear adjusts. It takes time, for sure, but it helps you connect the dots between different ways of speaking.
So how do you actually do that? Add variety.
Think about what you're interested in first. Your hobbies, your work. What do you like?
Okay, say I like cooking.
Great. Find cooking videos or shows featuring chefs from different places. Some from the UK, some from Australia, some from the US South.
Ah, okay. Use your interest as a starting point.
Exactly. If you like sports, listen to commentary or interviews with athletes from different countries. Find stuff that engages you. Then look for different voices within that topic. And maybe step out of your comfort zone just a little sometimes.
Try something new, even if it seems hard at first.
Yeah. Okay, next up, repetition. Listening to the same thing more than once.
Right. This might sound a bit boring. Listening again.
It can sound boring, but honestly, it's one of the absolute best ways to really deepen your understanding. Think about it the first time you hear something complex or fast in English.
You definitely don't catch everything.
No way. You might get the gist, the main idea, but lots of details, specific words, nuances, they just fly past.
Okay, so re-listening helps you pick those up.
Yes, but the key is to listen actively each time. Don't just passively let it play.
What does that mean, listening acting multiple times?
Well, the first time, yeah, maybe just focus on the overall meaning, what's happening here.
Okay.
The second time, maybe you listen specifically for vocabulary you didn't know.
Right.
Or you focus on how the speaker's tone changes.
Ah, listen for something different each time.
Exactly. The third time, you might pay attention to pronunciation, or how sentences are linked together, the rhythm. You set a different goal for each listen.
So it's not really wasting time, you're digging deeper.
Precisely. You're reinforcing what you learned, noticing patterns you missed, really making those connections in your brain.
Okay, that makes sense. And related to noticing patterns in sound, shadowing, right?
Yes, shadowing. This is a fantastic technique, though it feels a bit weird at first.
What is it exactly?
It's when you listen to someone speaking and you try to speak along with them, imitating them in real time, or maybe with a tiny delay.
Like saying the exact same words at the same time?
Yeah, basically. You try to match their pronunciation, their speed, their rhythm, the stresses they use, the intonation, how their voice goes up and down.
Wow, okay. That sounds challenging.
It is, especially at first. It feels like mimicking, almost silly. But the point isn't perfect imitation right away.
So what is the point?
It forces you to pay incredibly close attention to how things are said. Not just what is said. You start noticing the flow, the connected speech, the music of the language.
Ah, the musicality.
Right.
Yeah.
And as you practice, your own pronunciation and fluency tend to improve because you're actively trying to copy a natural model. It helps your mouth get used to making the sounds in a connected way.
So it helps speaking and listening.
Absolutely. Because you become much more attuned to those natural rhythms and sounds when you listen, having tried to produce them yourself. It feels awkward. Give it a try, though.
Okay, I might just do that. One last technique, recording yourself. How does that help listening?
Ah, yes. This is more directly for speaking practice, but it has a big benefit for your listening skills too, specifically listening to yourself.
How so?
Well, when you're speaking, you often don't really hear yourself accurately. Your brain is busy thinking about what to say next.
True.
But when you record yourself speaking, maybe reading something aloud or answering a practice question, and then you listen back, oh, that can be revealing.
Revealing how? Like cringy.
Haha. Maybe a little at first. You might think, wow, do I really sound like that? But you'll hear things, pronunciation points, maybe hesitation patterns, grammar mistakes that you just didn't notice while you were talking.
So listening back gives you a more objective perspective on your own English.
Exactly. It helps you identify specific areas you need to work on. And it's great for tracking progress.
Wow.
You record yourself today, then maybe again in a month, and then again a few months later. Comparing those recordings, that's when you really hear the improvements you've made, even the small ones. It can be really motivating.
Okay, so even if it feels a bit weird, it's worth doing sometimes.
Definitely. It's a reality check and a progress tracker rolled into one.
Got it. Okay, so that's a lot of useful ideas. Let's maybe quickly recap the main points for improving English listening.
Sure. So first, subtitles.
Yeah.
They're okay to use, especially at the start. Use them smartly, maybe as a stepping stone, and don't feel pressured to ditch them immediately.
Right. Second, active listening. Focus on the main message, not every single tiny word. Listen for keywords, tone, and remember, you can slow down audio if needed.
Third, variety. Mix up the types of English you listen to. Different styles, different topics, and definitely different accents. Get that broad exposure.
Fourth, repetition and shattering. Listen to things more than once with different goals each time. And try shadowing, imitating a speaker to tune in to the natural sound and rhythm.
And finally, record yourself speaking sometimes. Listening back helps you pinpoint areas for improvement and really hear your progress over time.
Excellent summary. And I guess the big takeaway is that getting better takes time, right? And consistent practice using these kinds of techniques.
Absolutely. Progress isn't always linear. You won't see huge leaps every single day. But if you keep practicing smartly, keep exposing yourself to English, you will notice improvements. It just takes patience.
Patience and persistence. Okay, before we wrap up, let's quickly go over some of the vocabulary we use that might be helpful.
Good idea. First, we mentioned hold you back. What does that mean?
It means to prevent you from making progress or stop you from doing something. Like, don't let fear hold you back from trying new things.
Exactly. Then spelled. S-P-E-L-L-E-D. This just means how a word is written using letters. You might ask, could you tell me how your name is spelled?
Right. And ditch. We said you might eventually ditch subtitles. To ditch something means to stop using it or get rid of it, often informally.
Use them as a stepping stone. A stepping stone is something that helps you progress or move forward to the next level. So easier videos can be a stepping stone to harder ones.
Nice one. Connect the dots. This means understanding how different pieces of information or ideas are related to each other. Listening to different accents helps you connect the dots about English pronunciation.
Yeah. And lose track. This means to forget something or forget where you are in a process. Like when listening to fast speech, try not to lose track of the main idea.
Good one. A news anchor. That's simply the person who presents the news on TV or radio, usually known for clear speech.
Right. And finally, a sitcom. That's short for situation comedy. It's a type of funny TV show, often about families or groups of friends in everyday situations. Good for hearing conversational English.
Great list. Hopefully those definitions help too.
We really hope these ideas give you some fresh ways to approach your listening practice.
Yeah, maybe something new to try or a different way to think about what you're already doing.
Remember, every little bit counts. Even just 5 or 10 minutes of focused listening practice each day adds up.
Definitely. So maybe a final thought to leave you with now that you've heard these different ways to listen more effectively. Where might you start noticing English in your daily life? Perhaps sounds or conversations around you that you didn't really tune into before. Something to think about.